Greetings. This is Grandmaster Amin Ra coming to you from Mombasa, Kenya. Oops, sorry, not Mombasa, Kenya, but Nairobi, Kenya, where I have been living here for over 20 years, doing ongoing research and investigation in Black Americans living, working, doing business in modern Africa. Now, today's topic is if you're watching the news on a daily basis, you're going to have a problem. You're going to have a problem with Africa. It's just no getting around that. Let me expand this so I can see this channel. Oh, I can do like that. Oh, I can't do like that. You're going to have a problem with modern Africa. Oh, Shay. Oh, Lord. Yes, brother, I'm back. And welcome. Atar Odor, welcome. Hello, man. And today's show, I'm going to break down once again how the news affects us as Black people in the United States, and news in general, but particularly daily news in particular. Now, I'm here in Nairobi in my hotel room. It's early in the morning. I don't know, they have some little energy saving light, so sorry for the darkness, but I think the sun is going to come out. In fact, I know the sun will be out in about 15 minutes, and hopefully it'll lighten up the room. Now, the issue of the news, uh, something I've covered many times, and you know, Americans in general, and Black Americans in particularly, really have a problem with believing that they are brainwashed by the news. We're brainwashed by the news the moment you turn on the channel and start looking at it. They go through great pains and great expense to give us the proper setting that is going to continually hold our attention while they feed us useless, nonsensical information that don't even have to be true. That's right, I said it. That information does not have to be true on the news. So when you think that you're there and you are getting the facts, a lot of it could be not the facts, but more numerously, it's not all of the facts. Yet we watch it, and then that information goes into our brain. We intake it in. Our subconscious mind processes what information that they give us from the screen, and then the conscious mind goes to work and makes a few decisions here and there. A lot of our decisions are based on the information that we got from the news previously. So I wanted to say this: if you're not in college, if you're not in trade school, if you're not in university, uh, or some sort of learning institution on a daily basis, then goddamn it, you're getting your information. You're getting educated by the news. If you're watching the news on a regular basis, let's just share the facts. You watch a few stories on the news. You go out, you go to work. Maybe you're on public transportation. You meet a hot chick, and then you start talking to her. What's gonna pop through your mind? Well, most of the time when you're there trying to talk to somebody, bring up a conversation, you you run through your mind. You know how it is. You're looking for something to say, something to talk about. And then what happens? Pop, you automatically start talking about some shit you done heard on the news, hoping that she was. What do you think about this xenophobia thing going on in Africa? And she watching the news too. She's, oh, it's terrible. Oh, what they're doing to the blacks is terrible. Okay, so you see, now when you try to have a healthy conversation, your mind can only revert back to what was in the news article that you can remember, because you didn't do any real research on the issue. You haven't talked to any victims from the incident. You don't even know where Durban or where these places are that this happened. So if you one or two things, you either keep quiet or you make shit up. You know, you don't know the numbers, so you be like, oh, I must have been like 300-400 people killed. No, man, there's only 5 people in South Africa that was killed during this issue, during that last time. I don't know about right now because I haven't bothered to go visit this silliness that's on the web now. It's too much. You can't get what's true from what's a lie. But in initial cases, only 5 people were killed, and then there's somebody trashed a shopping mall. Can you imagine a shopping mall? A shopping mall in South Africa made big news because it was trashed, and then connected with xenophobia. Do you know how large Africa is compared to any other continent? Do you know how many goddamn shopping malls there are in Africa? Not even in South Africa, but in Africa in general, because they're trying to stigmatize us to believe that the shopping mall in South Africa that represents all of Africa, and people's opinions should be swayed by the fact that Africa is now an unsafe destination. You know, generally what they want you to, to come to the conclusion they try to make you come to by the way they design the story. But uh, you know, it's just ridiculous. And we sit there and watch that goddamn crap and say, like, man, I can't go to, they trashing malls in South Africa. Oh man, I was going to go to Ghana next week, but now I have to postpone my trip because they might run from South Africa and land in Ghana. You get what I'm saying? So how ridiculous it is. It is just like, they bombed 9/11. People was pissed off. What's up? Lou Africa, how are you, man? Oh, Lou. Oh, love. Is that love? That's a Lou. Huh? Greeting. What color shirt you have on today? Private Brian. Private Brain. Master Piper, this is Brain. Yeah, we're talking about the brain here today. So you should like this story. Yeah. So, yeah. How are these people going to fly back? Oh, cool. Blue. Now you got 2 shirts. One blue, one red. I want to wear a checker shirt with some designs. But anyway, uh, I'm talking about how if you're watching news on a daily basis, you got to break that habit. You got to break the habit of watching the news on a daily basis because it's brainwashing you. Now, Americans in general, blacks in particular, they always feel like they're not being brainwashed. Nah, that shit can't get to me, bro. Nah, man, I know I got my opinions. No, you don't got your opinions, brother. You can't have an opinion if somebody don't put it in your head. You can't have an opinion you can't know something that didn't come through one of your 5 senses. You understand what I'm saying to you? You must understand how the brain works. You got right brain and left brain, and that's another story. But the news can lie to you. The news can lie to you. Since 2003, when Fox Television won an appeal, and in their appeal, their argument was there was no rule, policy, or law that said that it was against the law to uh, distort the news. and they won. They won the case, and since that time, it's like you can say anything you want because there's no rule to this day. There's still no rule, law, policy saying that the news got to be straight. So right there, you should be seeing like, okay, there's something really wrong here, because they put that shit on TV like 4 or 5 times a day, and in the best hours of the day, that's when the news is there, and you should be suspect to anything that comes to you for free. Yeah, somebody be selling you some biscuits. Oh, yeah, get some biscuits here. You walking down the road, and they trying to sell you some biscuits. How much is the biscuits? The biscuits is free. First thing run through your mind, that shit is poison. First thing run through your mind. But they give you the news free all the time, and you be like, yeah, this is good. You see, must be true. No, it's not true. It's designed. It's designed to brainwash. It's the number one part of the Western mass media propaganda lies. Okay. I don't watch the news anymore. Yes, I have friends in South Africa that I talk to. Yeah, okay, you can have friends in South Africa you can talk to, but I want to remind people here, because most of my audience is Black American, that the Africans are subjected to this news propaganda too. You don't think like, okay, there's only the news that's in the United States that's stirring your mind. No, you got TV stations here in Kenya. They was turned they were turned off the air, and their premises were raided by the government on several occasions because of the fact that they selling talking things that didn't have no merit, didn't have no basis, didn't have no truth to it. You see, so these stations, they break their neck to try to give you information, that's gonna make you continue to watch their program. And Kenyans are very conservative. It's like the one station they watch is like KTN News, and then there's NTV News, then Citizen News is coming up now. But these people are all competing to get viewership, and don't think that they won't cross lines to give stories and blow stories out of proportion in Africa, in Kenya. Mm-hmm. One of the things I like about South African television and also Zambian television, South African television, is at least they're a little bit more truthful when they talking about the Chinese is taking over the electrical company in Zambia. The South African television put the Zambian high commissioner on, interviewed him, where he told them straight, we don't know where these rumors are coming from, but there's nothing like that. The Chinese in Zambia have been doing business since the 1960s without a problem. And if there's a problem with a loan not being paid, because it's the government, we simply restructure the loan and continue. So it's not like a debt for a person. He just told the complete information. You know what I mean? And I was kudos to South African television for putting that guy on TV. Now Zambia is the one being attacked, to making the claims against Zambia, but they couldn't put the brother on their television show, the news on his show. No, they was putting 5 or 6 things on there showing Chinese wearing police uniforms, and they was stretching that story all over the place. It was only South Africa that finally put somebody with some authority and common sense on there to explain to the people. And most of the people watching the news was hoping that there would be some more negative stuff about China, and instead they got the reality, and they didn't like that. Most of us want to be asleep. Most of us want to believe that kind of nonsense that comes out there. And that's why I say, look, I know my channel is not going to get like 1,000 views. Right now people are clicking off the channel and, oh, that guy is talking, he just loves Kenya too much. He loves Africa too much. That's all he knows. He's got too much. Too much. Well, what you want, a fucking variety on truth? How can truth ever be a variety? Either the truth or it's not the truth. But when you want to make a decision, an important life-changing decision, I bet you by golly, wow, you'll be right back here rereading these videos and listening to what I'm explaining to you. Channel's not for everyone. So that's what I'm saying. Fox News was able to win a lawsuit in appeal. Not even the first they won. They got They was awarded something like 420 some $1,000. I don't know. And then Fox News appealed and came back and poof, But a lot of times the jury trial, the jury will be sympathetic with you, but when you appeal, it's not the jury. It's just one judge or two, three judges. So they was able to make a common sense argument. That's how they got them. So that's what I'm saying. That and people can remember. I don't know if anybody remembers Cynthia McKinney. Anybody remember Cynthia McKinney? Who she was? Who it was? Yeah. She was like the first black uh, representative, I think, in the House. In the House, second black. First black. She was the first black something. She was the first black House representative for out of Georgia. And when she was attacked by the news, of course, and then somebody wrote some negative, completely false information that really damaged her reputation, and then she wanted to sue them, but she was told, pull that lawsuit because they can say whatever they want to say, and you ain't gonna win in the appeal section, and this is the case, you know. So she that damaged her career beyond repair. Cynthia McKinney, and she been attacked by the news ever since, talking about she was going to sue them. So let me see this one. It's false national consciousness. The concept of nation state is European and the world of legitimate. Their sole nation and capture the minds of their POWs. This one is too deep for words. Yeah, Cynthia McKinney told the truth, and look what it got her. But you go read her stories and you start seeing that she's, the whole thing started when she tried to sue uh, for journalists for slander, and that thing is really what got her in trouble. Let me check the nuts out. Yeah. So I thought that was somebody's uh, donating to the project. Yeah, you can donate to the project. Still wait for these guys. You guys to do some African super chat. Bring that $5. Bring that $10. Go to Western Union. The comment section holds the information on how you can support this channel. Um, I'm supposed to be doing a live interview later on in the day. We're going to be having it at a martial art event, and there's supposed to be some Black Americans that are going to also come, and we're going to definitely interview them if they come. But yeah, Cynthia McKinney was the first black female in the House of Representatives out of Georgia, and look what happened to her. Damn. Kamala Harris, if people don't realize how the government can give a shit about you, because Kamala Harris is the second senator, black senator, female, black senator in the history of the Senate. In the history of the Senate, there's only been two black females. You understand what I'm saying to you? The government is not going to change the laws to put the media on point, and this is about the government. The government is the ones that make these laws or not make these laws, and they sit in their chambers and they figure out, well, this shit wouldn't be in the best interest of white people. If we let the black people come, we can't talk shit about black people in the news because that's a big thing. We're a big topic. We like 50% of the news topics in some cases, and we ain't but 20% of the population. And speaking of being 20% of the population, we ain't got a chance. There are 1,900, how many U.S. senators in America? 1,970 something U.S. senators. 1,970 something U.S. senators. We 20% of the population. We should be how many senators? We should be how many senators? It comes out to 392 senators should be black if America was straight. If America wasn't having this tendency where they're against us, then there should be something like 392 U.S. senators that should have been black. If you take 20% of the population, if 20% of 1,970 something blacks, U.S. senators, at least 390, 100. Damn, if you cut that shit in half, 100 of them. Hell, let's say 60. No, not even 60. How many U.S. black senators have we had? 8. If you don't count Barack Obama and 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 Carol, there's another one, there's a woman. They were both elected senators out of Illinois at the same time. But before Barack Obama was a senator, there was only 8 in the whole United States. You think a law gonna get passed? It's gonna help us? No. Hell no. Cynthia McKinney now works in Bangladesh. Yeah, she had to move out to the U.S. Thanks for letting me know that I'm gonna have to go research, see if she's more happier. The only way you're going to survive is to move out of the United States. If you still got a mind to, passion to do something with your life, the only way you're gonna work it, because when you become intelligent enough, you see what I'm explaining to you. That the news is brainwashing you, the news is negative, the news can lie to you, and the government is backing the news organizations. They're probably one of the number one funders of a lot of these news stations and stories that go out there. Now, we all know reports about how the CIA puts out stories, and does false flag events to manipulate the news or distract us from certain things. Who in the hell, raise their hand if you believe 9/11 was done by some terrorists? They're going to come from caves in Afghanistan and be in the United States? And no way. Everybody knows that thing is not true, but nobody want to talk about it. The only one want to talk about it is who? Me. Dave, that is a classic example of how the news can lie to you terribly. Is when you just go back and look at 9/11. You can't tell me in America that you can sit up and watch the goddamn news. I saw the book today. I was walking down the street, and there's a book vendor with all these old books, and here was the 9/11 report. That big giant book. I don't know how many millions of pages. All lies. Don't have even mentioned all them pages. I looked at the book. I was like, damn, this thing is big. And then I was like, damn, don't even mention Building 11 at all in the whole report. You're like, we all see that. Damn. It don't mention none of that in the whole report. So you can see what the extent they can go to, what they can go through. So somebody was asking me about Kamala Harris, is she black? No, I mean, she's black because her father was Jamaican. That don't. She ain't. When we say black, you know what we mean. You know what I mean? We talking about in the hood. You know what I'm saying? They just changed the fucking definition of what black is. Made us believe that every black person, even if they born somewhere else, or even they got parents born somewhere, or if they was raised outside the black experience, then that means that it could be stupid. No, if you're not part of the black experience, then you ain't really black. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying if you ain't, if you ain't been stopped and pulled over by the police, you really don't know what the hell you're talking about. If you ain't ever been no 7 or 8 year old kid, and then your family start playing some old soul music, and they all jump up on the floor and start dancing, and you looking at them as a kid, then you really don't know the black experience. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't walking down the road and seeing brothers driving in outrageous, some of them really hot cars, and then you don't know none of them, then you ain't really in the black experience. Sure. You ain't done, okay, I can't say that on air, the trash night thing, but I'm gonna talk about that one day. But if you know what I'm saying, what make you black is the oppression that we all equally share. Now, how the hell can Barack Obama be oppressed feel that when he's being raised in Indonesia. Come on, they gonna come to America and they gonna prop him up, make him a one-time senator, and then make him run for president. They had a plan. That's why his cabinet was mostly Jews. They had a plan, and they implemented that plan and used that guy as a fucking tool. That's what I'm saying. In his last years in the White House, he just sat around and did nothing. Couldn't make no laws, couldn't pass no laws. All he could do was be an icon, figurehead. You know? You think he could have finally went out and done something that would help black people? No. Dude, they locked him down. No. That's why he never did anything for black people. He could do for gays. He can do for other groups, but he can't do for. I mean, he come to Africa, goes into Kenya, and here's a chance where he can say, okay, black business people can now come to Africa and do. I know what he wanted to talk about. All he wanted to talk about was let the gays run free in Kenya. You know what I mean? That's what he had to talk about. People don't remember that he was boycotted. They did demonstrations in Kenya before he came, saying don't come here with that nonsense, and he came anyway. Still spoke on it. Okay, all skin folks and kin folks, yeah, but we're not kin folks, and a lot of problems is that we have been so brainwashed by the news. We have been distorted. Our brains have been so distorted by news articles and the lack of proper educational information about the how important it is for you not to lie. That we just we don't trust each other. I mean, if you came out with like 4 or 5 documentaries in a 6 month period and make black people sit down and watch the whole things, and it only discussed about being, how important integrity is, then you see, on my side here, I have a relationship with many people, and I have a reputation, and I take it very seriously. So if I say I'm gonna be somewhere on time, I'm gonna be there. If I'm not gonna be there, I'm gonna call and say I'm not gonna be there. You know what I mean? It hurts me to do it, but I have to do it because I don't want to have a reputation of people waiting for me to come someplace and then wondering if I may or may not show up. Totally damaging. When somebody texts me a message, then I respond back with the text message saying, "Okay, got it, noted. All right, we're good. Let's meet." But unfortunately, you don't see that a lot because the news takes these generations and take it like text messaging and social media. You just take it like it's a joke. But people's reputations are on the line there. But you think the news would point this out? How much society would be better if I text my brother and say, "Hey, let's meet at a such place," and then the guy he can't make it, and then doesn't bother to reply back saying, "I won't make it." So I'm still waiting to see if he's gonna make it. But no text message back or anything like saying that he's not gonna make it. This is wrong behavior, and unfortunately, it's, in the news case, it's not also what they tell you in the news; it's what they don't tell you that also hurts us. And I say and submit to you that what they don't teach us in the news and tell us in the news is more hurtful than what they tell us. Like the issue with Theranos. Take that thing out of San Francisco. Elizabeth Holmes, that white chick. Yeah, you know, this woman was worth $5 billion based off all kind of information that she didn't tell nobody. She held the truth from people, making them believe something else over here. Showing them all these great things that can be happening on this hand, and not talking about this hand over here that had nothing in it. It's what they tell you. It's what they tell you in the. It's not always what they tell you. It's a lot of times what they don't tell you. And we, as black people, trying to make a conscious decision on what we're going to do in America, don't realize it. Now, I'm saying to you that when the thing go down, and I don't want to be like a prophecy of doom, When the situation gets to the point where it becomes totally unbearable, you can be sure that the propaganda machines are going to run 24 hours, 7 days a week to get you to come to the conclusion that you think you came to on your own. Uh, and it's basically going to say one or two things: leave or don't leave. Because it breaks down to house Negro or field Negro. You got to ask yourself as a black person: am I a house Negro or am I a field Negro? And then you got to ask yourself, if I'm a house Negro, what makes me a not? Why am I a house Negro? Why am I so pro America that I'm not going to go to move out of America no matter what? It's because what you see, what you believe, like America. You believe probably that America is the end all to be all. You believe that America is number one in almost every category, and any other category that they're not that they're not number one, they can send some planes and bombs and shoot up the people and take over their government and make themselves number one again. And I'm trying to tell you, since 10 years ago, America is not number one. America is not number one almost in any category. There's this one wonderful show that came on. As a matter of fact, the name of the show was The News or something like that, where that white guy came and said, "We're not number one anymore. We're 54th in English in literature. We're 44th in life expectancy." He went down the road. If you go to my Black Man's Guide Facebook group site, you'll see that that article is there, and I remember to put that back up again, because you have to realize that America's not number one. You've been living in a false narrative. You've been living a false narrative, and you've probably seeing the news and saying that you look at the news like, okay, when the news comes on and the president gives me the stories of the day, those are the most important stories of the day. No, those are the stories they want you to hear, but they don't want you to hear other stories that are going on that will make you change your whole thinking about America. They don't want to tell you about the Afghanistan war, which is longer. It's been, if you combine all the major wars in America, America's been in Afghanistan just as long as all of World War One, World War Two, Civil War. All you add them all up, how many years? They come out like 17 years, and America has been in Afghanistan 17 years now. Just to get you realize that they talk about they're gonna pull out of Afghanistan, but why are they in Afghanistan? Could that happen to do with something to do with like 11 million Americans over abusing the drugs? Drugs. I don't know if it's called opium or what is it, but shit, it's just heroin. Hell, at the end of the day, I don't know why they're changing the name all around. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I just believe it. Like, you got a new word for heroin, and you got almost half American population is like whacked out on drugs. Now the president of America has to come out and say it's an epidemic. What? How you just not gonna realize that? Damn! You gotta get like half the population. A couple of government officials start dropping out giant of drug overdose. What's the number one killer in America between the ages of 18 and 25? A drug overdose. Oh, but now it's an epidemic. Just yesterday, Trump mentioned it. That's jokes. They're keeping that shit from you on the news, partner. They're keeping it from you. Oh, OPDS, yeah. You know, being in Kenya now, and then with Swahili, the letters are different. So O is U. The letter E is pronounced not A. And letter A is pronounced A. Letter I in Swahili is pronounced E. So when I started reading these words that I don't know, I really get confused. Oh, so I don't know how to pronounce it. Somebody got to hit me up on live somewhere and pronounce it to me. And I was doing reading on it, and it was like I just made up my own pronunciation of the word. But yeah. And then now how often do we come to grips with that? Imagine all these people that are on drugs, and many blacks that are on these drugs They are just living a life trying to hide this from their family and friends. That they like this, you know, that they got this issue. But damn, you can't miss it. These people that's in tents and things like this on the roadside, they're there because they could be whacked out on these drugs. And they had to get to the point where they have spent all money on everything, lost everything on drugs, and they don't have it anymore. And then they start doing all kind of weird stuff on the street trying to make money just to get drugs. And they keep telling themselves, I'm gonna break the habit, I'm gonna get out. But you can't really get out because that drugs chemicals affect your brain. And when you watching the news, this stuff is going through your eyeball into your brain. There's no way the hell you can tell me that you can watch an article on the news saying 15 people got poisoned by apples, by green apples, yesterday at a supermarket in Butcher, Virginia. We reported that 17 people got sick after eating these green apples. And in the news and in the sports today, it goes on like that. So you watch it go, you know how you do, and you go. So next, you go out of the house a week later, and you go to the supermarket and you say, I feel like some apples, or they got a sale on apples, and you go there and you see red and green. Goddamn it, you're gonna pick the red apple. You're not gonna pick that green apple simply because of the article that was in the news that hit you. It's got into your mind. You're gonna remember something about green apples. You're gonna hesitate like the hell not to go for that green apple. If you even remember the story, there was people poisoning green apples. Hell. Now you don't know that there's a company that sell only red apples. They the one who paid for that article to be on TV. So they could undermine the green apple people that was probably making more money at the time. And that is the issue that we have to realize that when we watch the news on a daily basis, you've been brainwashed thoroughly. And if all the negative articles that come out about Africa today, none is more damaging. The fact that what they don't tell you, even by what they tell you, they'll show you some starving children in Ethiopia. They'll tell you about some two tribes fighting and warring each other, beating each other with sticks, But they ain't gonna come up and tell you that, for instance, the highest high-rise building is being built in Kenya. I'm not trying to plug Kenya, but it's the fact that they popped into my head, And they're gonna talk to you about the African Free Trade Agreement, not in a positive light, not to tell you that every country in Africa signed on to the African Free Trade Agreement, including Nigeria. And the only one that's left out is Eritrea. And everybody knows Eritrea, they got a lot of problems there. They can't agree on nothing. That's why they always was one war with Ethiopia. And when Ethiopia decided, look, let's leave those people alone, that's when the economy became the number one fastest growing economy in the world. Ethiopia. Check it out. They ain't gonna put you go have some people come on my channel, they can't believe it when I tell them, okay, the 6 out of the 10 fastest growing economies. This is like 7 years ago. 6 out of the 10 fastest growing economies in the world was in Africa. What that tell you? It tell you that Africa is busy. I have a sincere question. Kenya appears to be the very westernized today. They do not even wear their African clothes. Why is that? Okay, you've been stigmatized to believe that Africa is about some African attire. When America puts on news articles about Africa, most of them are based on what happens in the rural areas, not the urban areas. In the rural areas, you're going to find that the people are going to be wearing, sheets and things like that, but that's in the news articles, they like to go to the poor areas at that. So they go to the poor traditional areas, and then now you believe that Africa should be like that. Leave about all these other countries like Western Europe, like India, even China. You go around, you see Chinese walking around in Western clothes. What you've been taught to believe is Western clothes, and you think like that they're moving away from their culture. No, it's not a matter of culture has changed, and I'm saying to you that modern Africa is just like any other place. You go to Canada, what kind of clothes they wear? They wear the same goddamn clothes that they wear in Africa. You go to Europe, they're wearing the same clothes in Africa. You go to Australia, they're wearing the same clothes. So you really have to realize that when your mind is trying to think of these things, you're thinking things based off some sort of concept, and that concept inevitably was brought to you by Western mass media, propaganda, news, and entertainment. So I'm here, and you think I'm gonna go around with some African dashiki clothes? No. The same point is, Kenya has its own clothing line. The government has an official government clothing line, and people wear these. They come out with these different styles of clothes, and a lot of government officials wear those clothes, including the president. So that's just part of the things that's going on here. People come up with this article. They say modern African clothes, and it's here. But do you think you're gonna hear about that kind of thing in the news in the U.S.? No, they're not interested. Okay, so that is why that is African clothes. You can tell me the definition of African clothes. I'd be happy to elaborate even further. Culture is the foundation of people's economy. Yeah. Senegal does not allow children above certain age to wear secondhand clothes, Western clothes. Yeah. Okay. You're talking about the articles about the influx of secondhand clothes. Now, I worked in a market, and secondhand clothes that was there, and I had a martial art club for 6 years, and to get to the club, I had to walk through this long row where secondhand clothes was just being sold every day. So I got to know the people. I saw the type of clothes that was being brought in. I seen the prices of those clothes, and some of the clothes was damn good. You know what I mean? I wear secondhand clothes. What back then when I was going, because you're gonna give me a really nice shirt, brand new for 30 shillings. You joking? I'm taking it. You know what I mean? And who can tell? Who can know? Who can tell? Who cares? You see, that's the whole purpose here in Africa. And secondhand clothes is a very big business in Africa. It's not going to go away. And even when I was in the United States before I came to Kenya, I was walking somewhere, and it was a factory. I went in and they had like all these jeans. And they were separating the clothes. I didn't know what it was. I didn't have a connection because I had not been to Africa yet. And then I went in there and they had a big barrel full of jeans, and I was like, nobody, how much you selling these for? They're selling, okay, we're selling them for, I forgot the price, cheap, Levi's. And I was like, damn. So I went through. I found some nice Levi's. So I bought a bunch of secondhand clothes for my kids, and I brought them home. My wife refused to let the kids wear those clothes. This is America. This is in Los Angeles. She refused them. She burned them. And I was like, damn, I thought I was doing something good, but she was like, no, we can't be wearing those. But I'm saying they just play clothes. The kids go out and play in these, and then why buy brand new clothes when they go play outside? And I realized I had that mindset even back then, like being economical. And so, like I said, Kenya and most of Africa is very conservative. So this thing for the secondhand clothes fits that kind of personality. And those is how cultures are developed, because the way the people think and what they decide to wear and what not to wear. So yeah, they got a lot of variety in secondhand clothes. They got merchants that go through like large bundles, giant things of secondhand clothes, and they throw out what they don't like, what won't sell, and they know what will sell. So, you know, it's like that. Not articles. I have visited Senegal and married a Senegalese. Also, have lived in Ghana. Congratulations. And if you've been watching my show, you know what I'm saying about Ghana being too small. And if you've never been to Kenya, it's a different experience. I mean, I talk about Kenya a lot, but it's only because it's the facts. And the situation in Kenya is that it's on the other side of the continent. And the fact of the matter is, a lot of the Western news articles don't want to really give you information about Kenya. They try to accuse the president and vice president of some ridiculous charges that was just out of this world, saying that they was responsible for like somehow 2,000 people being killed, and there was like the whole incident. It was 2,000 people that was fighting. They couldn't even find out where these 2,000 people. There was no record of these 2,000 people that was supposed to be being killed in Kenya during the elections in the morgues. You know what I'm saying? So it's just propaganda after propaganda. But yeah, you can't. You can't go, you have to really realize the extent of what your education is based on Western mass media news, what you get from the news. And there's is like that. Now you see when you say I'm married to a Senegalese, and I'm assuming you're a Black American, then we're together because I'm married to a Kenyan. Now when I come home from work and she comes home from work, when we sit down on the couch and talk, what do we talk about? We just talk about the daily economics of the situation, what the kids gonna do for school, what we gonna eat for dinner that night. The same basic things that you talk about when you're in America. We don't be sitting there like, we gotta have an African official meeting somewhere with the official, because it's nothing different. You see what I'm saying? The only difference is that you don't have nothing about the white man at my job today did me like this. There's no more of that excuse. There's no more of that nonsense. I was walking and the police pulled me over while I was walking and asked me for my ID. There's nothing like these things now when you move to Africa. You know, I'm walking down the street and these five white guys was walking past me and they kept giving me dirty looks. It's nothing like these things now when you come to Africa. When you move here, this all that's eliminated. Because when the shit happens to me, the first thing that pops in my mind is like, what the hell gonna happen to my kids? And I say, not enough of us are talking about that. You and I'm gonna stay in America. Damn, and your kids? You don't even give a shit. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because they're a popular topic on the news. Huh? Since Bill Cosby got arrested and got gone, there ain't no positive black family role model showing you what you're supposed to be saying and doing on TV. So you think that shit? So you believe that shit ain't important if it ain't on the news? And this is the sad part about being brainwashed. If it ain't on the news, it ain't important. And the most important things for us are not going to be on the news. So that's why I'm saying to you, uh, that you got to come to grips with the fact that if you're watching the news on a daily basis, you're being brainwashed and you turn that shit off. You probably will never come to Africa. You might talk about it and feel inspired when you see one of these shows, Diane Samir or me or somebody else talking about Africa, which is rare. Then you might feel like, okay, I feel like I should go. And then after the show is over and you turn off, you back to watching the news about the price of asparagus is at an all time low. Oh wow, so I should go get me some. How? You know what I'm saying? How can you imagine about coming to Africa when the news don't talk about Africa? You know what I mean? As a solution to all our problems, as I have said many times, that moving to modern Africa will solve 99% of all the problems black people have in the United States. And do you know to this day, not one person has called me on that statement? That person has even asked me to elaborate, because it's in the wind. It's in the wind. I mean, it's not like he's going to hear it every day. You know what I'm saying? It's when one person saying it, so it must either be he must be an idiot or what. But how many of you are taking the time to really think about what I just told you? 99 of you, if you move to Africa, 99% of your problems with the United States will be over. Think about that. Your educational issues with your children, any kind of racial issue you got, gone. You know what I'm saying? So you might subject, well, I can't go there because I don't, I got a certain lifestyle I gotta live. Shit, I'll drop down in a lifestyle if it means that my kids gonna have a healthy, sane life. You know what I'm saying? So, damn. Let me get in here. Okay, I'm an African descent, born in America, a POW. What you mean? You was a prisoner of war? In my view, most people who are listening to you and or diners are not watching the fake news. Yes. Unfortunately, I do have to watch fake news. I had to watch that xenophobic shit, and that shit is hard. You know what I mean? That's like eating asparagus raw. It's like, damn, that thing make you want to throw up. And I watch all these shows so I can keep the perspective. When I talk, I want to be knowing what I'm talking about. So I used to watch uh, Dr. Moonbeam, and goddamn, I mean, she just want to make me punch my fucking computer screen sometimes with what she'd be talking about. You know what I mean? So finally, I had to really had to psychologically had to say no. I got to stop watching that stuff. But it's true. The people that don't watch fake news, then you're pretty much on your way out of the United States, because when you stop watching the news, that's when you can start looking and separating yourself from what the nonsense that's going on in your day-to-day life. There's a brother, Kevin Tucker. Shout out to Kevin Tucker. He's telling me he don't watch the news no more. You know what I'm saying? And what he do is watch the African news. And then I had to tell him that, African news propaganda too. Because you're watching the news on coming in Kenya, that you're gonna get the real story. No, you're not gonna get the real story, bro. The whole purpose of moving away from the nonsense and the oppression in the United States, and I said yes, it's oppression. It's to get away from the fucking oppression. You move on with your life, and then life is just gonna be normal. It ain't gonna be like you're gonna come here and kumbaya. No. That's why I said in another show that I did that, don't if you're a Pan Africanist or you black conscious, now you're pro black and you're gonna move to Africa. Don't think you're gonna see pro black people here. Don't think you're gonna see Pan Africanism here. You're just gonna see black people here that's living their life like it's supposed to be normal. There's no reason for Pan Africanism to survive in Africa because everybody's black. It can't survive because everybody's black. Where the enemy at? Ain't no white people here for us to be like, there you go, let's get him. No. Look what the white man did to me here. No, it's nothing like it. Ain't a white person in government in Kenya. And as far as I know, except for, I don't know if it's Zambia or somewhere they tried to have some white guy be vice president. That was a political move. But ain't no white people in charge of government. And because of that, in a matter of time, there ain't gonna be no white people in charge of nothing. Because one thing that for sure that the African do know, no matter how much propaganda they put on TV, that there ain't no white person gonna ever get us anywhere near colonialism. And I can tell you that from being here. That shit ain't gonna never happen again. Huh? You want to see the real African? Come talking about you're gonna be a white guy running for some public. Since Leakey was out, that's it. They got rid of Leakey. That was it. They didn't get rid of him. He got old. They let him be there, but then he got old and he got out. He wasn't replaced by nobody white. What is the medical situation in Kenya? Do they have good medical care available, hospital care available? Yeah, I want to talk about that. Ooh, it's gonna be a long show. President Mugabe died in Singapore. So the whole purpose, so what people started talking about in the news was that they didn't have proper medical care in Zimbabwe to take care of him, so he had to fly out. A lot of people fly out for medical care because for special treatment. Now we note that when he went to Singapore, he didn't go to the United States. Oh, he couldn't go to the United States. That's right. Okay, he went to Singapore. He didn't go to any other country besides Singapore. Come on, surely. The problem here is you got to be on the ground. See, this is information I can give you. People can't make you understand the reality of the situation. Africans mostly die of natural causes. It's the white man that got sickly. He only 6% of the world population. So when he gets sick, they got to try everything they can do to try to save his ass. And he got big money, so he can go buy a new heart, buy a new lung. And this is what funds these major, big, giant hospitals. You know what I mean? It's nothing better than when you have a rich ass white person go to a hospital and they save his fucking life. He gonna donate all kind of money to that hospital, and they're gonna do all kind of research to try to stop the same ailment for other rich white people that might come to their hospital. So the hospitals that you see is mostly for rich whites and Europeans that can afford to pay all that money to get that kind of treatment. Now inside that area, you got some heads of states and some rich politicians that can also afford that type of treatment at these kind of hospitals that have been there. You got a hospital there that's been doing the same type of treatment they've been doing on Robert Mugabe for 10, 15 years. So what the hell? You gonna go try a new one in Zimbabwe? No. And the fact of the matter is, hospital care, specialized hospital care, which is what it is not cost effective in Africa. So you can't build no supersonic giant ER trauma center in Africa. Nobody gonna come. And people that come to use it can't afford it to pay for the doctors and the nurses and the specialized equipment and keeping it up to date. You know what I'm saying? You gonna get a guy that's gonna come. Most of the Africans middle class, they ain't gonna be able to afford that. Most Africans traditionally go to their homes, sit in they put them in a little room somewhere, and then they live out their last days. You see, the only thing is that, Mugabe, they're going to try everything they can to keep him alive, because he's an icon. So that's why you don't have that specialized treatment in Africa. Now, they got him now, but, if you in your 60s and 70s and you got big money, who you going to trust? You know, I wouldn't trust going to the United States or Europe for shit. But you're gonna let me die. But some of these brothers, they be like they are career politicians. They believe that they gonna last forever. You know what I'm saying? And then they got family and commitments that they don't that they have to. They force them to go. You know. So to these specialized treatments, you might want to die. More you might want to die, but then you got a lot of politicians and a lot of people that stakeholders that depend on his money, and then they gonna keep him alive as long as possible. Let's just be real. Let's just be real. But as far as the medical situation in Kenya, it's excellent. You know what I mean? As far as I can see, it's excellent. You know what I mean? As far as African standards go, and as far as they don't have the kind of money that America has, and with their kind of treatment. But look at Theranos with Elizabeth Holmes. Where all them billions of dollars come from? People interjecting into that machine that she was supposed to have made. Huh? The medical establishment makes billions and billions of dollars off of people because they can pay off doctors. What they were showing all of that shit in the doing the investigation. Then she paying off doctors to sell the product. And who don't do that? They do that all in America. All the corruption. You know what I mean? You can't trust your doctor for shit. They arresting doctors for giving out prescriptions to the patients that don't need the prescription. Let me say that again. They was arresting doctors for giving out prescribing medicine that the patient didn't really need. It goes on all through America. AIDS is not real, and I keep telling people that AIDS is not real, and they don't. Everybody just ignore me because I'm only a voice in the wind. I'm stuck. I said in another show, please show me where they have documented evidence in medical papers showing that HIV is living in the human body. If you don't show me that, then there's no such thing as AIDS. Simple, clear. You know what I mean? But this is the world we live in. They ain't gonna talk about that. They ain't gonna put no bunch of shows on that. They're gonna just ignore that shit and put on Oprah and then have her twist your mind, and she get a lot of money for doing that. Who's not from Kenya? I don't know what you mean by who's not from Kenya. Exactly, the 14th Amendment. Okay, well, POW is not a citizen. Yeah, you're going deep, but like I said, 1,970 senators in the United States, and only 10 were black. If you take 20%, it should be something like 300, almost 400 senators should be black. Now, why is it only 10? Because there's a hidden fucking conspiracy to keep the black man oppressed in the United States. And these good old boy white networks is not about to let us get into some sort of power. 10 fucking senators in the whole of the United States. These are the most powerful men on the planet. I told you, Dr. Obama would call a senator, and the senator refused to fucking call from the president of the United States. That's how powerful they are. Some of them guys been in office for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. They don't have no chance to get out of there. They don't have no term limits in the Senate. That's where all the power is, not by who's president. They're giving you Trump, and you think Trump gonna be the one to say, we're gonna have a trade deal with China, we're gonna go to trade war with China? You think he can just sit up and say that by himself? Hell no. Let the senators in America sign off on that shit. It ain't gonna happen. Mugabe. Yeah, I know Mugabe. I know Mugabe's not. He's from Zimbabwe, of course. Yeah, but I did research on Mugabe, like I said before, 10 years ago. I think it was about 10, 15 years when the United States started putting sanctions on Zimbabwe. And then I visited Zimbabwe in the year 2000. Walked around, traveled around the city. Beautiful, beautiful place, in Harare, First rate when I was there. People very highly intelligent, you know what I'm saying? No, I'm joking. I remember when my first impression of Zimbabwe was like, I thought I was back in the U.S. because I would look outside the window of the bus when we were arriving. I was like seeing this used car lot on one side and then a liquor store on the other side. I was like, what? Where are we back in? How did I get back in L.A.? But people ain't gonna see that on the news. News not gonna portray that. They're gonna do media. They hate that shit, and then they gonna try to stop it from happening. But it was true. Because I saw it firsthand. There is no HIV. Exactly. Proof to me that HIV exists. in the human body. Just show me. You know what I'm saying? Just show me that. Why argue? Why talk? Oh, it's true. Don't go through all that. Just show me the paper that show HIV, not in a test tube. Anything can be developed in a test tube. Show me in the human body a medical paper that say this is HIV. This is why when you go for the HIV test, it gives you the test for the antibodies. Why? If it's a retrovirus. If the retrovirus is there, why can't you just say there it is and this is attacking this is for that? Because it's a lie. You know what I'm saying? You know, America is not the most corrupt place in the planet. It's built on corruption. You know what I'm saying? And the television, mass media propaganda corruption is one of the worst ones for our people. You cannot have your own opinion if you're watching the news on a daily basis. It's impossible. It's fucking impossible. You cannot. You have to rip out your conscious. You got to rip out your conscious mind. I mean, your subconscious mind. You have to rip it out. You know what I'm saying? If they think it poison, it ain't easy. You got to have people got to go through affirmations. Repeat this to get the subconscious mind to change. It ain't easy to change it. Somebody slap you in the face. The next time you see them, you ain't happy to see them. You know what I'm saying? Subconscious might take care of that shit. You know what I'm saying to you? So, hey, when they watch the news, that's just dangerous. Don't be talking about coming to Africa and you watching the news. You're going to come here, you're going to be unhappy. You know, you're going to come here, you're going to be looking for shit. Oh, God, Boko Haram. And you'll be feeling foolish. I'm telling you even today, 2019, I still get things in me that make me like hesitate for all of the nonsense and craziness that the United States has put in me. And for 21 years, I don't see none of that shit really happening. It's just in my mind. Oh, the sun's coming out, as you can see. It comes out at 6 a.m. every day, right on point. And yeah, Cheryl. So let me see what some guys are saying here. Threshold is 0, then we would be awake. Boy, you're a deep brother. I don't know. I have to get you. Got to just talk some better English with me. Simple English. The diagnosis of HIV changes from country to country. Yeah. Okay, now you can follow that because I did 5 years of strict research in the AIDS question, and that was my final analysis. It hasn't been changed. Nobody has changed me. Nobody. I have seen nothing that comes. Every once in a while, I type in AIDS lie in the Google search and then read the different articles that they put there, and it tells me the same old nonsense. The their HIV exists, but it's too small. HIV is harmless. I'm like, man, why? Why go there? That's just like saying Jesus is black when we know he didn't even exist. So it's a made up story. And you didn't know Jesus was a made up story? Oh, you didn't. You really lost. You really lost then. You know what I mean? That's now you're in the religious brainwashing, and that is making you cut off my. Don't you get ready to hit what button is that? You get ready to hit the X button on Amin Ra now because he done said Jesus didn't exist. As if I'm the one who made that shit up. You know what I'm saying? But that's the extent that we go through. And just like you would cut off this video because Amin Ra said that there's no such thing as Jesus, Jesus never existed. It's the same way you'll never come to Africa because the news is brainwashing you because you don't use your own mind. You just lazy brain. You know what I mean? Somebody told you here's the evidence. Here's the evidence that Jesus didn't exist. Here's the evidence that HIV isn't real, and it's 2 pages. And you probably go through half a page, and then you done. You done. I don't understand this. I'm gonna read this whole goddamn article. You see, 2 pages. That's where we are today. If it ain't text messaging, then if it ain't Twitter, you ain't gonna pay attention to it. You know what I mean? Twitter is here today because they give us a little bit to read at a time. We ain't that academic like when I was coming up. You know what I mean? Shit, I remember I worked for my dad's business truck. At the time I wasn't where I was in high school, and I was working with my dad. I had the key to my dad's trucking company, and he had a typewriter, and I used the typewriter to type up my I don't know, my high school thesis or whatever it was. I had to put this in, and it was on the Civil War. And I was typing up these. I had to put like 15, 20 pages of typing, and I'm typing the thing, and I'm trying to get to figure out the information about what happened during the Civil War and shit. I started crying because it was too much. I remember I was like crying, shit. I was like, oh shit, tears dropping on my paper. Oh man, I got, yeah, because I had to do the research. Now, what I didn't understand back then was it wasn't about doing the research for the fucking Civil War. It was the fact that it was making my brain stronger because it was making me research. You know what I'm saying? I was pushed to research. You know. So later on, when I had to do 15 pages. So you think somebody come up with 2 pages of research? You think I'm gonna have a problem with that? No, man. Because I was educated. I wasn't. They make the brain stronger. You know what I'm saying? When you keep reading, you become intelligent. That's what they call it, basically. You know what I mean? But today, nah, you ain't gonna read past 2 paragraphs. That's just an impossibility. Black people, no way. I'd rather turn on the news and let them tell me and tell me what I need to know. And then you gotta trust somebody. You know what I mean? It's very bad when the news gets to the point where it can fuck with your common sense. You know what I mean? Or you just believe shit that it just make no sense. How can it be like that? You know what I mean? How can they tell you half the population of blacks got an HIV positive, and then 10 years later, blacks is still here? You know what I'm saying? Because they ain't got no cure. So what's the story on AIDS? Joking. Yeah. So yeah, you heard that issue about the HIV being changed from country to country, but all this is propaganda news. All of this news. If the shit don't exist and they don't have a medical paper, then where you get your information from? You get your information from the news. And it was the news that it was an agreement with the government, the FCC, and all those people that believed that Dr. Robert Gallo was right when he said that HIV was the sole cause of AIDS, and they agreed with him. And then boom, there you go. You're gonna keep on putting out articles every day, every week, to keep on talking about people dying of AIDS and people getting arrested for giving out AIDS to other people. Whatever happened to those kind of articles? You know what I mean? They put these stories talking about such was arrested because he gave somebody HIV and he's gonna be given 5 years in jail. How? Let them arrest me and say I gave somebody HIV. You know what I'm saying? I don't need a lawyer. Just let me speak on my own behalf. I just need like 10 minutes with the judge, or 10 minutes with the jury, and we can get past that shit real quick. You see what I'm saying? Because there ain't no such thing as HIV, and therefore this is our definition of AIDS. How can a syndrome be a disease? That's why I used to always say, because people say HIV disease, and I'm like, how can a syndrome be a disease? Syndrome is just a group of symptoms. So how can that be an HIV disease? How can it be something? How can it be? You know what I'm saying to you? If you just use your common sense, but we're so busy letting ourselves be brainwashed by the news, we never come to Africa. We never come to Africa. Now I want to start to end up on this, and also remind you that if you like the information that's being given to you, please let's keep this channel going. Support the channel. I think I put in the comment section there how you can donate to the channel and support the channel with $5, $10. Let us not just have something that's going to continually brainwash us. Let it be somewhere some information that we can be sure that is basically true. And by saying that, I'm telling you that nobody that live in America can tell you anything about Africa. Anything about the truth about Africa. You see the way I'm telling you about the reason why these guys are leaving the country for medical care? It's propaganda news when they come out and tell you, because the African country can't afford to have a good hospital. It's just economically not feasible. You know what I'm saying? Unless you got a lot of white people in your country, because black people don't get sick like that. They don't be getting this third case diabetes. Black people ain't interested in living fucking forever. You know what I mean? They ain't interested. You want your uncle died, you're dying, and you need but you can get a heart transplant. He gonna how much they gonna cost? He was like, it's gonna cost you like 300 lira, 300 million lira for a new heart. He said, give that to my grandchildren. Shit, let me go. I'm one with the ancestors. That's how African think. He ain't afraid of death. He just, But a white person dying, they're 6% of the population. They like, save me, save me, save me by all costs. I don't care. Get that black guy. Get his liver. Get his liver. Yes, I need it. You know. And so you be finding black people waking up on the park bench in the middle of the park bench, in the middle of the park, and they're missing their liver. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, the hospital down the street is putting that liver right to some white lady. You know, you always seen all them jokes where they had the white guy got the liver for the black guy, and then the white guy was giving the black guy his heart, then asked if he wants some chitlins, shit like that. They kind of jokes, you know. You know, the guy, white guy, get that heart for the black guy, then asking him, "Do you have a craving for watermelon?" You know, and you know, the kind of jokes. But this is what's going on. So the African hospitals, major hospitals like that's not needed. Now I'm telling you that shit from on the ground. You know what I'm saying? I visited the major hospitals. I've been in Kenyatta Hospital. I've been in the hospital where they said Barack Obama was born. I had to go check out my kids' birth records, and I was in the room where they was having all the records, and I was looking for. I was thinking I should go look for Obama's records while I was there, but I said no, I ain't spend no hour looking for that nonsense. And that was back when they were saying when Trump was not president, and he was really complaining that Obama was not born in America. He wasn't an American. They say he was born at Mombasa General Hospital, and I've been in the record section where they keep the records for all the births. Now they computerized it, and I was going to offer them to computerize those records, but it's a good. They're computerizing records now, so it's no more like the books. Because when you go there, it's just like books that they keep records. They handwrite the records since the 1940s. The hospital 30s they was writing in books, and then the books were still in the same room. The room didn't have any windows; it just kept it like that. But now you go there. I was there when I went there for my kids' birth records. The guy had a computer, and you know I'm a computer guy, so I looked at what was on the computer, and it was not set up for a database. But I'm sure now they now Kenya's got database knowledge now that people are using it, and they're saving those records online like the rest of the world. But anyway, not to get off the topic, let me see if I talk about come to Africa. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I have really talked all these points out and let you guys say, oh, let you guys something in the comment section. The beautiful thing about this channel is that you are here listening to me live, and you can ask me a question, and I'm damn sure going to read it. You know, I want to keep it. We're not that big yet. So Kofi Newton, Couples Productions, peace, brother. What's happening to you? Give me a question before I'm getting offline. It's 2019 AD in Kenya, so they agreed Jesus existed. No, that's another thing now, you know, because people say that the Africans are heavily into religion. And yeah, Dr. T.B. Jakes was just here. Oh, was he here yesterday, day before yesterday? I ain't seen nothing about what he was doing. But he was here in Kenya, and uh, what's that Indian guy's name? That guy that has that show. Yeah, I'm here. So that Indian guy, I forgot his name, but anyway, he came here and they had to take like two truckloads of took two trucks to take out all the money he made from Kenyans that were throwing him money when he gave his crusade. I'm fine. I'm in the hotel. I don't know what they're asking me at 7 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, Kenyans are religious, but that shit is dying out. When you go to major churches today, there's no new major churches that's being brought up or expanded. And in my investigation, yes, I did investigation because I'm here on the ground. And this is why I'm saying you should support this channel, because I can give you the actual what's going on. Now, I'll be going into the outer ring area of Nairobi today, and I'll probably pass a few churches, and I will take the time to look in the churches and see how many people is in the churches, because population in churches in Kenya, quiet as it's kept, it's like at 50% low. 50% low. So yeah, it's they Kenyans are not going to be like black people. They're not going to be making no shows and stuff about it. They're just going to stop going to church slowly but surely. Then you're going to start seeing things on the news like, okay, people are going to this new avenue. But what's going on with the Kenyan today is most Kenyans are realizing that it's not a sin not to go to church. you know, and they just stopped going. And social media is such a powerful effect. Most average Kenyans just on social media, you know, they on WhatsApp, they on groups in WhatsApp. You know, think they keep their interest. You know, you go to the church and the guy's preaching, he ain't keeping your interest. You know, another thing that's going on in Kenyan churches today is that these guys are coming out now with the money part of it. They're saying you want to be rich. You know, they're doing like what's his name? Damn, I'm gonna get tired after 1 hour. These motivational speakers uh, that come out and talk about how to make money and all like this. You know, the pastors are taking that point and saying you want because Kenyans have money, so they're saying you want to make money, you want to do like this, and so they give money advice at the chapel or at the you know you know they preach to their people. You know, winning is godly and making spending money and making money is great. And I'm giving you the information that you need to make money, and you're gonna be prosperous, like Jesus wants you to be. That was a church called Winners Chapel. It's got a lot of it's been doing this for years, and their churches are always packed. But nowadays, because this Jesus thing is not keeping the interest of the people, they start more churches are going towards that narrative. A couple of many black folks are living check to check. Yeah, is having a privilege of being a U.S. citizen enough to make the move or have any impact on the African company. You won't have no impact. You won't have no impact coming from Africa, coming to Africa. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. You an African American, you're gonna come here. You're probably gonna get your Kenyan wife, and then you're gonna have Kenyan kids, and then you're gonna die. You see what I'm saying? And your kids gonna go be Kenyan. So when we come here, it's nothing like we're gonna pass on and go have a black American descendants and nothing like that. No, the culture is too strong and too little, too few of us, and we're not the type of people that goes around coming in groups. The black man don't visit Kenya and visit Africa in groups. He do it on in stealth. He do it by himself. He want to come here on his own. You know what I mean? That was the same with me. I didn't have no problem coming on my own. You know. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. Okay, I appreciate that, but appreciate it more when you guys, if somebody can make me shout out that they paid sent $5 or $10 to the channel. Uh, okay, so yeah, let me repeat that. Get what I'm saying. When you all that black Africanism, you gonna come here, you ain't gonna find like-minded brothers like that gonna sit down with you. I think right now there's like 6, 7, 8 of us here, and that I know, well, that we ain't like talking every day, meeting and sitting down and smoking a peace pipe, whatever, talking about how we're gonna do business together. No, black people are not like that. Coming from America, Now I've not really done the research on why, but it take a lot of tragedy to get us to come sit down together and you know, you know, do economic business together. I'm trying to do it with a couple of brothers here, and it's just like pulling teeth. And another thing, when you come, a lot of brothers that come here, they psychologically damaged. I don't know how the fuck they got here. The brother come here, he got all this money. He bought a house for 100,000 shillings a month. So I go to the brother's house, it's just him. He got some chick he's seeing. The chick sits on comes to me and sits on the couch. I mean, what's wrong with your gut? What's your guy? I was like, what you mean? He's like this. He's like that. And so the guy comes to Mombasa and meets my wife and her co-workers, and then he decides he likes one of the workers in the shop, and goes out, buys pizza, buys expensive wines, and then we sit down and we start eating and drinking off of him. And he's like, that's because I can give you this and that, and so we should be going to sleep with me. And I'm like, man, are you out of your mind? You think because you bought all of this stuff that these girls gonna go turn around and go to sleep with you? No. Why make you think they all don't have men in their life anyway? You know what I'm saying? He gonna take the most beautiful 2 chicks and then expect like they don't have no boyfriend or nothing, or that they gonna leave their boyfriend for a stranger that just came with some money in his hand. Now how can I talk to him? Now finally, me, I'm realist. I told him. And the moment I told him, the moment the sentences started coming out of my mouth trying to tell this guy, look, man, you're making a mistake. Whoop, he didn't talk to me no more to this day. You understand what I'm saying to you? Then he left the country because he couldn't see like African women was gonna give him. He went back to Malaysia or wherever the hell, someplace where the Asian women take his money, you know. But he came here with a wrong idea about black women. It's another brother that came here. He's in his late 60s. He got him a Kenyan wife, married her. She was 22, I think, 21, 22 years old. I was like, oh, he's a good brother. Then next thing you know, the brother builds a house in Kenya, and he always had this thing where no Africa, he always looked at the bad things. We used to always uh, argue. He's always looking at the negative side. And I try to explain to him the positive side. Then he get mad. Then he changed to something else. But anyway, he built a house here, and then all of a sudden he just decided I'm going back to America and take my woman, and we're gonna be living in America. But he didn't tell us like that. He just told us I'm going for a visit in America and I'm coming right back. And we didn't think nothing of it because the brother built a house here. He was established. But then again, he goes to America. What does he do when he get to America? We find out the guy buys a house in America. So I was like, you get all kind of negative, weird people. Black people, we've been damaged, and we ain't gonna be undamaged that quick. So when you come here, the only really basic thing that's gonna happen to you is that you're gonna be free from oppression. So if you got talents, if you like to laugh and you like to feel free, you're in the right place. You want to stop seeing people that don't look like you. You want everybody to be looking like you. Yeah, life is what you make it, no matter where you go. The African that goes into America, life is what he makes it. Until that guy started talking about he gets a job at a supermarket and he's selling. They put him in charge of the fruit section, and he feeling like goddamn, he feeling happy. I come from Africa now. I put in the supermarket. I'm in charge of the fruit section. They come here and give me responsibility, and the African, he ain't gonna fuck up. He gonna keep that. He gonna show you that he's the best. You know what I mean? Until it come time 2, 3, 4 years later, he's still in charge of the fruit section, and he talk about I want to be. People are passing him up for manager, and then when he go and finally try to go and complain, they tell him you ain't gonna never be nothing. You ain't got the right papers to be here. So what? You just joking. Even if you had the right papers, what I mean? Which the guy African, he finally got his American citizenship, and do you think he got the job as manager? Do you think he can put down his resume and say like no, not unless you Barack Obama. Okay, so let me read the next one. What type of vocational training and education should we to Africa? Okay. I had done a video on this issue of the top major businesses in Africa: transportation, food. These are the basic foundation, and other businesses ride from them. Now, ICT is a very strong one now. I'm doing database management, and the field is wide open. I have really little competition in that area, but then at the same time, people don't understand it. So you gotta like educate them on what is possible, and then it's gonna take a little time because Africans are conservative, you know. So the type of training that you need is not a lot. All you have to do is have a desire. You can get the training that you need while you're here. That's another thing. Some people thinking like America got to hold the you hold the patents on all education. No, a lot of great education is developed here. Hell, you can be in Africa and you can sign up for an online training course in Google that come out of America or Europe. You know what I'm saying? So I would suggest that you shouldn't put a lot of emphasis on trying to get trained before you come. This is just another way, a stall tactic that the brain uses to make you not come. Like I told you about the brother that said he's gonna try to get 2 million. What was it? $50,000. He gonna raise $50,000 before he come to Africa. He gonna until when he get $50,000, that's when he gonna move to Africa. And like you ain't never seen $50,000 in your life. You're broke and you got a lot of bills. What were you dreaming? You see, this is the way the brain can work to make you stall and not coming. Just get your ass over here. That's all I say. Just come. Hell, you can always go back. You can get a free ticket back from the American Embassy. It ain't gonna be free, but I mean they're gonna get you back, but you still gotta pay the money back, but you can pay that in installments. You get what I'm saying? So why wait? Yeah, the American Embassy will give you a ticket. If you like your hardship and I want to go back home, they'll take your ass out of Kenya. You know what I'm saying? If I want to go home, I can go there, and I don't want to go home. They give me a ticket. Yeah. So it ain't an issue of that. You get what I'm saying to you? It's not. You should just come. You should know that the psychological effects damage on you through brainwashing has caught that point where, to the point where we, you think you know, but you don't really know because your brain's been all fucked up. That's part of America. That's why we only got 10 senators and nobody's complaining. America, 10 senators, 10 powerful men in the world, 100 men, the most powerful men in the world, more than the president, and we only had 10 of them in our whole how many 400 years of being here. I mean, no, since America has been a country, you're joking. Hell, we don't even have we used to have states. And like Chicago, I mean Illinois is where we had a lot of black people. That's where Obama and the Carroll came from. Before them, it was only 8 senators, U.S. black senators, and only 2 women. So you're joking. Uh, I'll definitely donate. Okay, Newton, brother, I heard this before. I'm waiting. I've got my phone right here. If you donate now, I'm gonna get this phone gonna ring in the next 5 minutes. I'm gonna stay online for 5 minutes. Ding 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 ding, and it should be ringing that you made the transfer completely. And shout out to all those brothers, Richard and George, those guys that have sent money to make the channel work. Now okay. I don't want to say like, okay, I don't need the money. Okay, it's not a lot of money, but the point of it is that this thing can really work out if people if we if there's a lot of interest in what we're talking about here. Because you're getting a lot of. I mean, I wouldn't even be here if it wasn't so much propaganda lies about America, about Africa. You know what I mean? And like I said, we don't travel together here. We didn't travel together when we was in the U.S. So I ain't like I'm helping somebody I know. You know what I'm saying to you? So I don't know why I'm being touched to do these videos, and but I know one thing: I'm a businessman, and I'm not gonna do anything for free, just like anybody else. Because anybody else talking about I'm gonna teach like martial arts. I got so many brothers that go they start teaching people, and they don't have no business sense, so they go I'm teaching for free because they like the fact that people will look at them as an authority and do what they say, so they get to. But that shit wear off. You know what I'm saying? That shit wear off, and then you be like, why am I doing this? Like you get bored of trying to, people listening to you, they taking your knowledge, and you're not getting nothing in return. That's jokes. I'm in Rise, not that type of person. And when you cut me open, you're gonna see businessman. So the whole point of it is, when I started this channel, first thing out the box is, hey, if it ain't gonna make some money, then it's not worth my time because people just be sucking me dry. And at the end of the day, I'm gonna have something that I'm gonna need money for, and I'm gonna like ask you, and you ain't gonna do it because you're not been, basically you're not in the habit of doing that. You get what I'm saying to you? So yeah, you can super chat me, tell me I want you to get this information for me, and I can give you a thorough group of information for $5 or $10. So it's up to us. It's up to you. You know what I mean? But just don't do. Hey, he won't be here forever if it's not. People don't. If it's serious, people don't show seriousness. And the only way you're gonna show me seriousness is if you willing to depart $5 or $10 out of your bank account to come here and be recognized. The fact that this channel support and you send volumes to other people in the chat also. And this is why I'm doing it. This is why I'm saying the channel should see money. And they don't want this to be the case because why else wouldn't you have super chat in Africa? If you was here and you click super chat, you're gonna tell you it's not in your country. We don't do this in your region. That's what they say. What the fuck does that mean? What region? We can't give you Patreon. Not in your region. You see, go to PayPal. We just got some sort of connection between PayPal and M-Pesa just the other day. You know what I'm saying? But half the time that don't work. So I don't even trust it. I have a PayPal account. I tried to send $1 to my M-Pesa account. It took my dollar and didn't give my dollar to PayPal. So I don't know what's going on. They told me that there was a problem, but I don't trust it. But Western Union, well, we know we can trust that. Okay, so anyway, have you noticed that hurricanes start in the West Africa and travel across the Atlantic to destroy East Coast America? I know. All I know is that if you saw if you ever saw my story on the weather, you should check it out because another thing that they don't talk to us about is the weather. America has the worst weather And this is the whole purpose history of America. The British wanted to come and they landed in South Africa, in South America, where the weather was really good. You see, but the Spanish shot at them and chased them until they got up into North America. And they got off the boat and like, wow, this is good. Nobody's here. It's just us. You know, maybe they arrived in the summertime. It's just us. Wow. Then shit, when that winter time hit them, they was like, God damn, they froze to death. After now, some of the Indians that was here and the blacks that was here, they just was pioneering. They wasn't living here. How you gonna live in West Virginia in the wintertime, man? Can't you remember how hard it was for Washington to cross the fucking Delaware? You know what I'm saying? The troops was dying, freezing. That weather will kill you. So don't tell me in the 1700s that this place was a good place. No, America had worse weather problems. Imagine you in the 1700s, you move and you come and land in America. You move inland a little bit, and then you build you a house, all within the first 8 months. Then the winter time come, all of a sudden you looking at the sky and a twister come and wipe your shit out. Wow, you gonna stay there? Hell no. You know what I'm saying? So don't tell me that America's a great country. And they always talk about the weather, but they don't give you the fact that how many people get their lives destroyed, lose everything. You know, you in there, you got some material things in your garage, or you got some closet with all your great, artifacts and things that you kept over the years. How about the when they come and they will tell you get out your house and evacuate, and then when you come back, your house is gone. All them things that you had, memorabilia, all that shit is gone. All your pictures of your whole family and all that finished. You see what I'm saying? So, you got to start all over again. Damn, but your bills are still going to be there. Your credit card debt ain't going to go away. You get what I'm saying to you? Maybe your job was wiped out. And then, we gotta, jobs, they like doing that shit. As quiet as it's kept in America, jobs like that shit. Weather come, wipe out a section of either wipe out your job business, or your boss come and tell you they wiped out the factory where we get certain materials, and so therefore we can't pay you or give you a raise this year. Tell me that ain't happening in the chat room. Tell me that don't happen. It happens. They use that as excuse. Now you just be like, okay, shit, damn, I saw it on the news. It's true. Yeah. But this shit is happening all over the place. So get me right, man, when I tell you these things. I'm telling you things you didn't think about, but now I'm trying to tell you that's what this channel was about. It make you think. Have you heard of APSP Kenya chairwoman? No, I haven't heard of her. Uhuru Movement African People's Socialist Party. I haven't heard of. Give me some details. Do you accept Bitcoin? Okay, one of the things I'm going to explain to you people that you don't get this in the news. I'm going to hit you up on Bitcoin. M-Pesa. But if you heard anything about Kenya, this is the home of M-Pesa where it was developed. Leave about how it was built, the history. But you can make transactions with your phone. When you see me telling you donate to this channel, and then I tell you go to mobile wallet and then go to M-Pesa and click that M-Pesa button and then send the money to this number, that is M-Pesa. M-Pesa is Bitcoin. It is money without the coin. You see, it's a way to transfer and use money without banks. So the whole purpose of Bitcoin was to remove the banks, if you can remember back in the day, is to remove the middleman, which was the bank, which was taking cuts out of the money. And now we have M-Pesa, and M-Pesa is simply like that. If I can't go outside this hotel and walk 20 feet without there being an M-Pesa agent somewhere ready to transfer money from my phone into cash. You understand what I'm saying? I can't go to any supermarket that don't have a code number there that I buy the goods. I put the code in my phone and then get the bills. The goods are paid for. This is what's going on in Africa today. So when you start talking about Bitcoin in the U.S., they way behind. Google tried to come up with Google Wallet, and that shit didn't work. But in Africa, it's working. In Kenya, 99% of the population is mobile phone ready with money. Do you know what that means? I mean, my whole businesses are all transactions based off M-Pesa. So the Bitcoin model is in full effect in Africa today. It's just that nobody wants to say that it's Bitcoin. But you tell me, what's the object? What was the basis of Bitcoin's development in the first place? It was to remove the need for money to be transferred through banks. Go from one point to the next point. So it's me. I got my phone number. My wife is in Mombasa. She got her phone number. She called me and said, I need some money for food. Honey, okay, no problem. Then I did some numbers on my phone, and then the money is transferred to her phone, and she walked right across the next shop next to hers is in pesos. So she go there, she collect the money, and then she got food. Okay, so Bitcoin is food. Okay, so I mean money. Do you accept Bitcoin? Okay, I don't accept Bitcoin. I mean this and that. So, what is your opinion about the year of return in Ghana from the president? My opinion about that is Ghana is too small a country for blacks to be going there for their first visit to Africa. I have said it time and time again. If you're gonna come to Africa for the first time, don't go to Ghana. Okay, the people in Ghana are unhappy with the way the government is being run. They say government is very poor, and that's the majority of them. They got a car. Ghana has built a car in Ghana. So you think that car is being mass produced? No, because the country you can't. That's why I'm just. I can only say it like that. You want to go there and you want to go like one block businesses and the next block businesses. That's it. You go to Accra, you're gonna have like 3 blocks of businesses. That's it. The rest of it is like rural land or little small tiny shops. The kind of model you might have seen in Africa where they got the little shop, mom and pop shops. That's the rest of the country. They're gonna try to tell you that there's certain cities in Ghana, such and such a city, 100,000 people. Do you know what that look like? That ain't a city. You're joking. You got to have 1,000,000 something people to be a city. Really, seriously? So they lying to you. I said it. Yes, I said it. They lying to you. They're trying to make you see like that place is big and it's small. And maybe somebody in the government got it through their head that we can make the black people come here and mass. They can bring their money, and they treat you like a fucking tourist. Second of all, Swahili is not spoken in Ghana. So what kind of trade can you do? Already you don't have all the countries on both sides of Ghana is all French countries. So you can't even leave the country. You can't go travel nowhere without paying. Now Kenya is a part of the East African community. You can go from border to border. You can go to Uganda. You can go to Rwanda. You can go to Tanzania. And they're all part of the community. And what quiet is kept, people don't know, the DRC Congo in Kinshasa is the second biggest city after Lagos, and they're joining the East African community with Kenya. So the power is going to be fantastic, and all of them surround the greatest lake. So freshwater lake is there when they get their business together. Boom, man. I mean, and the land is just too fertile, and the countries right across the DRC, Uganda, and Kenya are along the equator. So you get the best weather in the world right there, the best continent in the world, all black. Damn, this is a no-brainer. You go to Ghana, what you gonna get? Joking. So that's why I say go to Kenya, not because I'm too much of a fan of Kenya. Sweet tea, greetings. You're coming in very late, my sister. So we were talking about if you're watching the news on a daily basis in America, then you're being brainwashed and you'll never come to Africa. And this is my point. And I'm trying to explain to you that this situation on the ground is, oh, there it is. The situation on the ground in Africa is far different than what it is the situation in Africa is far different than what they're portraying to you on the news, to the point where it made me open up this channel and start giving you the correct information. And you see, if you notice, I haven't got a lot of people that's disagreeing with me. You don't have that kind of haters here saying that they disagree, because I do my research and then I ask myself the question: now, what would a hater say? And then what you got to be ready for them. And they sit on here, and you might want to come here and joke with me. And you see me, you talk to somebody on the chat line, because when they start, I'm ready. I got all the facts right here, and I'm saying, you know, why should we continue to tolerate that? Let these other channels go out and start talking about, look what they did to us. There's channels that are on YouTube that are talking about what the blacks did. The police shot the blacks, and you don't see me doing that here. We're beyond that. We're beyond that here. Now I'm telling you, look, get you an African escape plan. You don't got to utilize it. Even if you just make it up in your mind, okay, that's not that good, but it's a start. You know what I'm saying? Get you an African country that you decide you're going to go to. Now, my recommendation, because you're going to ask me, is Kenya, because it has everything to support you. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, not exactly everything, but it got most things that can support you. And the Wi-Fi is fantastic. Not my phone is 3G, but the Wi-Fi is 4G. Internet banking is here. All the things that you would normally need from the West, because it's a tourist country. 900,000, more than 900,000 now. Got to be over a million. But visitors come here every year, so the country knows how to handle foreigners and know how to deal with them. So it's a very safe country, and it's got a lot of opportunities here. You know what I mean? I have several streams of income, and depending on how I work them, they give out, they make money. So it's not an issue of you can come here and you don't have nothing to do. But what did they tell you in Ghana? The number one thing is agriculture. Agribusiness. Agribusiness is just, you got to open up a shop and sell fruit, and you're gonna have people sitting there right next to you selling the same goddamn fruit. You know what I'm saying to you? So that's not the way to go. If you come from a city like I did in America, that's not the way to go. You know what I mean? And the fact that the majority of the countries I had mentioned earlier are together, Swahili is widely spoken. This is a very important point, and because the language connects people, and there's no language that connects Ghana with any other African country. So you just there with that little small African language that they give you, ooga booga, and then that's it. But if you're talking Swahili, you're talking widespread engagement. Why do I say that? Because your children are going to learn Swahili if they come to East Africa, and then they have more opportunities for them in other African countries all surrounding them. And by the time your kids would be grown, the transportation system would be far better, and you'll be able to. They can have opportunities from all around so many larger span of area. Ghana is too small. Okay, what I'm saying is so that you can send Bitcoin to send to your wallet. I don't have a wallet. I have M-Pesa. So when you go to Western Union and they send the money, there's a button that clicks for M-Pesa. That's what you send. I'm waiting. I'm getting ready to get off this line. It's the longest show I've ever had. Okay, USA states putting out travel advisories about East Africa. Yeah. Anything that they say negative, just take it in reverse. That's the best way you can handle yourself if you got to watch the news. Anything they say negative, you know that means it's positive. If you go long periods of time without information about Africa, go on Google and investigate, because there's something great that's happening that they're not telling you about, like the African Free Trade Agreement now being implemented in Africa. It's going to give you the largest trading bloc in the world, bigger than China, bigger than Europe. When these 54 African countries come together and allow free trade between them, you don't know what that means. It's a goddamn game changer beyond the imagination. So while they there shooting 6 bullets in the Nipsey Hussle, Africans here getting busy, and it behoove you to get on the winning side, because as Africa rises, the United States and Europe is going to decline in the same level. Go check it out for yourself. Do any kind of research, you'll see it. Europe is dying, and as Africa rises. So I'm going to have to get off the channel now. I'm so sorry that no one contributed yet. Maybe when I'm offline, you guys might sit down and think about what we said here. This channel is to kind of to poke your mind a bit and keep you thinking in a rational manner on issues that are dealing with Africa from Africa. So I'm from Los Angeles, California, born and raised, 37 years there. I've been through all of the things that that a Black American can go through. Worked in corporate America for 15 years, so I got the knowledge, I got the understanding, and I'm here to give it to you for as long as I can. So until the next time we meet, I'm gonna have a live video in about what time is it? Is it 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. In about 10 hours from now, I should come up to you live uh, from uh, from the martial art tournament. Hope you guys can stay and watch that event a bit and enjoy it. It'll probably be uploaded. It probably won't be live. But if I can get live with one of my black brothers that just came here from US, definitely we'll put that one live as well. So this is I'm Ra signing out, saying peace. Oh, let me put that in the chat, man. Uhuru, search for freedom. Yeah, it's true. Mm-hmm.